everyone! Happy New Year! 恭喜发财! My name is Adeline and it's great to see everyone tuning in to the webinar today. Now, when it comes to Chinese New Year, we eat together, we toast the isang together, and we get super excited when we are receiving the hongbao, especially for the younger ones. Now, and as for the adults, everyone is happy meeting up with friends and relatives during this period to do a quick catch-up on one another's life. Despite the COVID situation right now, everyone is just doing our best to make the best out of the situation, to make visits, but not compromising all the safety measures. In the midst of the busy schedule that is lined up for Chinese New Year, how much do we exactly know about Chinese New Year? Now, there are many interesting and fun facts on Chinese New Year. There might be some information that you have already known before, but if there is one or two things that is maybe new to you, all right, I am glad to be able to share with all of you today. So right now, let's try to unfold some of the fun facts of Chinese New Year. And having said that, let's get started, all right? Now, without further ado, let me just share screen first. All right. Here goes. Okay, I hope all of you can actually see my PPT. All right, here goes. Let me just do a slideshow. Now, some fun facts about Chinese New Year is today's webinar topic. Okay, the sharing is by myself, Adeline Wong. So let's take a look at what are some of the fun facts on Chinese New Year. Let's take a look at the very first one. Number one. Chinese New Year is also equals to what we call the Spring Festival, which is also known as the Chunjie. We also call it the Lunar New Year because countries such as like the North and South Korea, as well as Vietnam, they also celebrate it as well. So it is still very wintry during this period, very cold and all that, okay? But the holiday marks the end of the coldest days. People welcome spring and what it actually brings along, such as like planting, harvest, and new beginnings, and as well as fresh starts. So it is very important festival, okay? This festival itself, right, Lunar New Year, Spring Festival, is very important in China and a major event in other Asian countries, such as like Singapore as well. Now, the Spring Festival goes according to the Lunar Calendar. So let's take a look at what this Lunar Calendar is all about, all right? So fun fact number two, okay? There is no set date for Chinese New Year. So according to the Lunar Calendar and the Spring Festival, right, it actually begins on the 1st and lasts all the way to the 15th of the month, which is the day whereby, you know, when you look up into the sky, you see the big, round, very bright moon, full moon, yeah? So this day itself is actually the 15th of the month itself. So the date for Chinese New Year, it actually changes every year, all right? So for example, this year, our Chinese New Year is actually on the February, right? Which is currently, right now, we're actually experiencing it. Now, the lunar calendar is still very important in China, even though it has actually officially moved to the Gregorian calendar already, just like the rest of the world. So the Chinese itself, we will still very much depend on it for in terms of calculation of good dates and so on and so forth. So next, let's take a look at fun facts on Chinese New Year number 3. Okay, let's take a look at it. Okay, number 3 states that you grow 1 year older on the Spring Festival. So in China, you have a real age, okay, which is what they call the 10岁, okay, so this is the 10在, the real age, okay, and there's another name for it also. There's another one, okay, which they actually refer to is actually what we call the fake, okay, the fake nominal age. They call it the 虚岁. The real age is the one that we all know about, okay, every year, which is your date of birth, okay, and then that's your real age itself. But for this 虚岁, right, the fake nominal age is the one that you actually grow older, all right, and you grow 1 year older on the Spring Festival. So the nominal age actually increases with this Spring Festival. So this was the age that most Chinese actually went with until recent times because they start to follow the Gregorian calendar. Okay, and number 4, let's take a look at what are some of the fun facts of Chinese New Year. Number 4. Let's take a look at it. Chinese New Year ends with a Lantern Festival. This is something that I do not know much about, okay? But while I'm actually preparing for this webinar, I actually did a little research online, okay? And to find out more about this. So I hope this can be a little bit come as a surprise to you, or a little interesting fun fact, okay? That you get to actually learn today. So the first full moon of the lunar year is also what we call the Yuen Sao Festival. Okay, in Chinese we call it the Yuen Sao Jie. Okay, this Yuen Sao Festival, right? Another name for it is actually called the Lantern Festival, or either what we actually call the Deng Jie. So very interesting because it got to do with the lanterns, so it got to do with all the lights, okay, the candles and so forth, right? So this night itself is a night of partying, and not only that, it's a night of freedom. So in ancient times, right, what happened is that girls are not allowed to venture outside by themselves. But on this night, okay, they will be able to actually walk around to moon gaze at the beautiful moon, all right, the full moon, and not only that, to look at the beautiful lanterns around. So if you take a look at, sometimes when we watch those kind of shows, okay, those drama shows that is actually tagged on to the Asian period, you will actually see that there are some times whereby girls actually come out to walk on the street, and that's most probably because it's the Lantern Festival. And because of this, right, it is also known as the Valentine's Day in China. So quite interesting, right? Yeah. So let's take a look at Chinese New Year fun fact. Number 5. What do we have? Okay, so everyone has a birthday on Chinese New Year Day 7. Okay, so happy birthday to you, and also to you. Happy birthday to you as well. And you get a birthday on day 7 as well. So everyone gets a birthday on the 7th day of Lunar New Year, which is the celebration of what we call the Ren Ri, the birthday of all humans. So according to Chinese traditions, the goddess Nian created human beings from the yellow clay on the 7th day. So she takes some yellow clay, some clay, and then she just yep, everything together, put a head, put a body to it, and then that's how human beings are actually created from the story that is being told. So cross your fingers on this day for good weather. It is actually being said this way. Why? Because on Renri, if you actually have good weather, right? When you have a good weather on Renri, right? It is believed that this will actually grant you good luck to all the people on earth. So remember, on Chinese New Year, day 7, okay? So let us all cross our fingers, okay, to actually wish for a good weather so that it will actually grant us good luck, okay? And next, let's take a look at Chinese New Year fun fact number 6. Let's take a look at what is this. So it is said that Chinese New Year is celebrated all around the world. Now, 1 out of every 5 people in the world is Chinese. That's a very big statistic, right? But this statistic, right, does not include the people of Chinese descent. So can you imagine the number itself will be much greater as well. So London, countries such as like London, England, San Francisco, USA, Sydney, Australia, they all claim to have the biggest spring festival celebration outside of Asia. So if you happen to be like, looking at this webinar at this moment, and you are, overseas, maybe you can just have a look at the Chinatown around you, the Chinatown nearby. Maybe you can get a feel of what the celebration feels like. And maybe you can also let us know whether is it what they have actually claimed to be, to have the biggest spring festival celebration outside of Asia. All right. So next, all right, let's take a look at fun fact of Chinese New Year number 7. Okay, now let's take a look at this slide. Number 7, a record-breaking number of text messages are sent on Chinese New Year each year. Okay, so 1/4 of the world celebrates Chinese New Year, just like what we have mentioned earlier on, right? So can you imagine, okay, the number of text messages that are flying around, okay, every time, each time, whenever there's Chinese New Year, the number is is massive, correct? It's huge. So even when I were to actually think back, right, even in Singapore itself, okay, every time, you know, whenever you're having your reunion dinner, your handphone will start to ka-ching, 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 you know, the sound will start to come in, right? Why? Because you will start to receive a lot of messages from your friends, from your relatives, wishing you happy Chinese New Year. And of course, right now, even like for our WhatsApp, even for the Telegram, there are many cute pictures and cute stickers as well, right? To actually symbolizes or either to actually wish good luck or either prosperity to all your friends. So please remember to download all the pictures as well as all the little stickers so that on Chinese New Year, so that, you know, along the way, all right, be it this year, be it next few years, okay, join in the fun together with everybody, okay? Continue to start messaging all your friends as well, okay? So even today, right now, at this very moment, all right, I believe some of you are actually sending out messages to your friends already, all right? So next, let's take a look at fun fact number 8. What do we have? This is very interesting, okay? Now, fun fact number 8 states that millions of e-angpaos are sent on Chinese New Year. Now, this is a little bit different from what we actually understand from the tradition, right? Handing out red angpao packets is still a norm considerably in Singapore, all the way from, you know, all the way until last year, okay? But in China, especially, okay, where Chinese New Year is celebrated on a very grand and very big scale, right? Most people prefer the online version of e-angpaos. So in 2019, there's this statistic that is being collated that over 820 million users, okay, they send or receive angpaos packets online. And even for us Singaporeans, okay, these days as well, okay, even right at this moment, right, if you realize, I actually backtrack the newspaper articles back then around 11th of January, okay, last month. Singaporeans are actually encouraged to give e-angpaos during this Chinese New Year as safer, okay, as it's considerably more safe, environmentally more friendlier, okay, the option given to us, okay. And by now, right now, I believe a lot of you might have already received a lot of e-angpaos. If not, send out e-angpaos to your friends and relatives as well. And this article is actually taken from the Straits Times. So if any one of you are actually interested, you can actually backtrack to around 11th of January. Straits Times actually announced this information. And not only that, on the same day itself, Channel News Asia also released the same very similar article as well. They actually states that MAS, right, okay, encourages use of e-angpaos for Chinese New Year because online reservation is actually required. So it makes it a little difficult for us, right, to actually acquire the new notes from some of the banks. So what are some of the benefits, okay, of giving e-angpao? So for some of you, maybe you right now you have your angpaos holding on hands, right? Maybe I can share with you some of the benefits of this e-angpaos so that maybe instead of giving the physical form, right, you can actually do it through the virtual form, the e-angpaos way, okay? So let's take a look at some of the benefits. So MAS actually says that giving e-angpaos is more environmentally sustainable. Why? It helps to reduce the printing. So for those of you who actually is already giving out e-angpaos, thank you very much, because it helps to actually reduce the printing that MAS have to actually do, all right? And it helps to reduce subsequent wastage of new notes that is returned to banks after each festive season. So I recall back, right, when I was young, right, after every Chinese New Year session, right, after the Chinese New Year festive session, my mom and my dad will actually ask me to, okay, it's time for you to actually take out all the notes from the angpao and then count your money, and then they will use the rubber band, you know, to tie up all the new notes together, and then they will bring me together with my siblings to the bank to actually bank in, okay, to our bank account, right? So I recall back then, right, when that was actually happening, I see a lot of people around me also, okay, why they're also banking in, yeah. So if you were to think about it, right, actually it's quite interesting, right, to actually draw money, new bank notes, and then after that you still have to put back into the bank again, right? So this is the whole idea of this whole new revolutionary change. Not only that, I think a lot got to do with because COVID right now we are actually under the COVID situation, right? So this will actually help a lot in terms of our safety measures to actually aid in it, to actually be part of it as well, right? So not only that, let's take a look at the next benefit that MAS has actually shared with us. So they states that carbon emissions generated by the production of new notes for each Chinese New Year is estimated at about 330 tons. This is said by their Assistant Managing Director for Finance, Mr. Bernard Wee, okay, from MAS. And not only that, he actually states that with that amount, right, is actually equivalent to the emission from charging 5.7 million smartphones, or one smartphone for every Singaporean resident for 5 days. So this is a very massive and very huge amount, okay? So if we can actually help in this aspect, why not, right? So customer who actually send e-angpaos, right? I'm sure some of you have actually tested it out, have actually tried it out already by now, right? Customer who have actually sent e-angpaos through PayNow can also add like small little, very personalized Chinese New Year greetings and specially designed festive graphics. So I think it's quite interesting, okay, because other than last time when we actually have the angpao, it's only the design in front of the hongpao only, right? But right now, if we were to actually send our e-angpao, right, we can actually add in Chinese New Year greetings as well as together with, you know, all the festive graphics and so forth as well. So give it a go, all right? Test it out, try it out as well, okay? It may be a change for now, all right? Maybe once you have tried it out, then maybe you can actually decide whether, do I still prefer the more physical form of angpao, or it's okay to actually go along with the trend, to go along with the norm, the new norm right now, which is to give e-angpaos, okay? Next, let's take a look at the fun fact of Chinese New Year number 9. Let's take a look. Now, before fireworks, okay? So right now we know that, you know, during Chinese New Year, we always see that, wow, you know, at different areas, there's actually fireworks display and so forth, right? So before fireworks, right, burning of bamboo was actually the thing, okay? I didn't know about this as well until I actually Google on it, and then I made more research on it. So according to legend, okay, I believe a lot of you are very familiar with this monster by the name of Nian, correct? So a monster named Nian would actually appear every New Year Eve to destroy the homes and also to eat villagers. But one year, okay, this particular year, a group of villagers decided to burn dried bamboo to keep themselves warm, okay? And the explosive sound from this burning bamboo, right, actually scared the Nian away, actually scared the monsters away. So it was just a very coincidental experience. So what happened is that since then, those celebrating the occasion, they will actually burn bamboo. So the sound, right, to scare off the monsters as well as the bad luck. So only much later, so when is fireworks being introduced to everybody? Only much later, fireworks were introduced into the equation. All right, so there's something, a fun fact for all of us to know. All right, so moving on, let's take a look at fun fact on Chinese New Year number 10. Let's take a look at number 10. What does it state? Number 10, the Chinese decorate everything red for Chinese New Year. That is not something that we are unfamiliar with, right? When it comes to Chinese New Year, everybody know, must be red, you know, as red as possible. So every family will actually deck their homes with this color decor, right? So do you even remember, just now earlier on, I was actually sharing on the story on Nian as well, right? So firecrackers aren't the only thing that actually scare the monster away, okay? Red is also an invaluable, okay, weapon that actually used, okay, in nearly all the Chinese New Year decorations. Okay, so why? Because Nian sees this red color, he's actually scared of it, you know. So this is why villagers, and then even right up to now, everybody is actually pasting, okay. They will hang out red lanterns, paste all the red papers, the tun lian and all that, right, on doors and windows, okay. It symbolizes to scare away the monster Nian so that we will have a good year ahead, right? And not only that, what people will do is that new clothes, okay, we will always buy new clothes. New clothes are also believed to actually bring good luck and to start over, you know, to start the new year afresh. So people will actually add new red clothing to their spring festival wardrobe. Okay, so this is something that what we usually do. All right. Now, let's take a look. Having said this, okay, other than new clothing, other than red decoration, what other fun facts I'm going to share with you? Let's take a look at fun fact of Chinese New Year number 11. Let's take a look at it. Okay, let's take a look at this. So Chinese New Year starts with a new animal's zodiac. So in China, each lunar cycle has about 16 years, and 12 years is regarded as a small cycle. So every 12 years, okay, the cycle just repeats itself. So each of the 12 years is defined by an animal sign. Okay, it goes rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. And the very first one is actually rat. And if you were to actually Google further, right, there's actually a myth story, okay? There's a story behind why rat is actually number one, okay? Rat is like so small, right, and so tiny. Why is it considered the number one in this zodiac ranking? Okay, so you can actually find out more about this story, okay, if you were to Google on this. Okay, so in 2021, okay, is the year of the ox. So this is why this year, all right, everyone will be like saying, oh, 新年快乐, 牛年好运 and all that, right? So this year is actually the year of the ox. Now, I recall back, right, when I was young, okay, my school teacher would actually ask us to actually remember and memorize the sequence of this zodiac signs, the zodiac animal signs, okay? And I have a very hard time memorizing it. I'm not sure for all of you, do you have your own way to actually memorize the ranking of this zodiac animals? Until one day when I was, I think, when I was actually in primary 3 or primary 4, I realized that up to that time, right, I still cannot memorize, I still don't know who is the number 1, who is the number 2, who is the number 5th or number 6, until this teacher, this Chinese teacher, she has a very tactful skill in means way, right, to actually let me remember the sequence in a very fun manner, in a very rhythmatic manner. Even up to now, if I were to actually go through the sequence, right, I also read it out in a singing manner in this way, all right, in a rhythmatic way. Okay, so maybe I can also share with you if you're actually having some difficulty to remember the sequence. So it goes like that. It goes 鼠牛虎兔龙蛇马羊猴鸡狗猪. So how you can actually remember is actually to break it up into small little parts, okay, so that you can actually remember it even better. So you can just go 鼠牛虎兔, then that's one part, right? Okay, 龙蛇马羊, that's another one. 猴鸡狗猪猪猪猪猪. So you can remember it in this rhythm. All right, so next, let's take a look at Chinese New Year. Fun fact number 12. What is it all about? All right. So now, having said this, earlier on we say that, every 12 years, the whole cycle of the zodiac sign will actually repeat itself, right? And this year is actually the year of the ox. So it is said that your zodiac year, right, is actually your bad year. So what does it mean? Okay. Now, it means that, okay, like for example, this year, the babies who are actually born this year, they are all, their zodiac animal sign is actually the ox, right? So after 12 years later, okay, 12 years later when they are 12 years old, right, it will be their zodiac year that is back again, right? And it is said that, the myth said this, that year itself is going to be a bad year for all those that are born in the year of an ox, okay? Why is that so? That is actually called your 本命年, okay? Your 本命year. Now this year, okay, is actually the year of your zodiac animal, and of the 12-year cycle, it is the unluckiest year for you. Now there are many multiple explanations, superstition on this, but the Chinese actually believe that your 本命 year, right, is actually your rebirth year. How true is that? I'm not too sure, okay, but this is actually found in Google online. Maybe if you are interested to know, you can actually Google more to see what are some of the other explanations. Like what they say, there's actually multiple explanations on that, okay? So during this year, what do you actually do? Okay, like for example, those people like this year, those who are born in the year of ox, what can they actually do to eliminate all this bad luck that is actually said to actually come to them? Okay, so during this year, okay, the weapon for their defense is the color red. So just as you know, you decorate your home in red for protection and fortune, right? You can also wear lots of red clothing. It is said in this way lah. Okay, I'm not sure how true is it, but maybe you all can actually test it out and then let me know in time to come. So many people will even, right, in China, right, they will wear red underwear every single day of the year just to make sure that nothing unlucky will actually befall them. Okay, so others will actually add on like red shirts, pants, jewelry, insoles, and much more, whatever they can actually put on them to eliminate or either to block away the bad luck that is actually coming forth. All right. And I also recall my mom and my usually my mom, my grandma, right, if they will actually check with the temple, they will go to the temple every beginning of the new year, right? They will actually check whether this year do you have to actually go and pray to the deities, the gods and all that as well. So it is said that those people with the Peming year, they can actually go to the temple to actually pray for better luck for them and also better prosperity, so and so forth. Okay. And next, let's take a look. Having said this, let's take a look at the fun facts of Chinese New Year, number 13. Let's take a look at what is it. So on Chinese New Year Eve, okay, people will eat many auspicious food, all right? So take a look at this, all right? I have little dumplings, delicious dumplings. They are like jumping, shaking, dancing on the bowls, okay? So certain foods are actually eaten during the Chinese New Year period, purely for their symbolic meaning, okay? For example, I'll give you two examples, such as like this includes dumplings, okay? They are eaten because they represent wealth. So it is said that the more dumplings you eat, right, the more money you actually make in the new year. So if you happen to see, dumplings, spread out on the table during the dinner on the Chinese New Year Eve, right? Please remember to eat more of it, okay? Now, fish is also eaten, all right, on that day because the word for fish, okay, in Chinese, it means yu, okay? It sounds like surplus. So this is what it actually means. So for BW Monastery, a lot of us are actually vegetarian. Maybe we can find some vegetarian symbolic meaning kind of food, okay, to let all the vegetarian, okay, to eat, the vegans to eat as well, to actually also soak in this auspicious kind of like belief and all that. Yeah. Okay, good. So you can actually Google more for this so that you can actually find out more. All right. So next, let's go on to fun fact on Chinese New Year number 14. Let's take a look at number 14. What do we have? Just now earlier on, we talked about Chinese New Year Eve, right? Okay, that's where we eat a lot of auspicious food with the symbolic meaning and so on and so forth. So Chinese New Year Eve, okay, is actually the day whereby we actually held our reunion dinner for most of the Chinese, okay? And this is a big feast to commemorate the past year. And this is also the most important time to be with the family. So after the reunion dinner, usually, right, families will just sit together to watch the Chinese New Year gala show, that's happening all over the world, okay, and then to count down for the new year to actually begin. So everybody will sit together and then they will chat. And as the most watched, this is considered like the most watched TV program, okay, the gala collects a various selected performance, okay, that is targeted for the audience of different generations. So everybody, be it your grandmother, your great-grandmother, all the way to your toddler, they will actually enjoy the show. So it's like a get-together, all right, before the Chinese New Year. Yeah, I remember when I was young, okay, even right up to now, after the reunion dinner, we will just gather together as a family. And the most interesting and the most fun part, right, that we will actually focus on, either we are waiting for, right, is always before the advertisement and after the advertisement. That particular part that is before the advertisement and after the advertisement. And for those of you who have always been watching this kind of Chinese New Year gala show, you will most probably know what am I actually talking about. That's the time whereby they will actually showcase the zodiac animal sign, and they will actually share with you, okay, for this particular year, for this zodiac animal sign, okay, what will they actually experience, the luck that they are going to have, the health conditions. So they'll do some little prediction, and then what are the clothings that can actually help to actually boost your luck or either your prosperity for this year. So it's very interesting to actually understand. It's also very interesting to actually know okay, some little fun little things to actually do together with your family members. All right. And next, let's take a look at fun fact number 15. Okay, fun fact number 15 states that kids should not sleep early on Chinese New Year Eve. Okay, why is that so? So don't you dare to sleep, boy. Now, that's probably the one day when, you allow kids to actually stay wide awake. It is believed that the later they actually stay up, the longer their parents actually live. So remember, okay, if you actually believe in this, okay, make your children, either if you are the child, okay, if you are, we will definitely be the daughter and the son of somebody, right? So remember to stay up late, okay, either not sleep on that day, okay, especially on Chinese New Year Eve, so that our parents, okay, will live longer and healthily, okay? And let's take a look at fun fact number 16. Fun fact number 16, okay, it states that washing hair is not allowed. Why is that so? Now, this taboo can be a little tough to actually follow, especially in hot and humid Singapore. It is believed that washing your hair washes away all the fortune, okay? Why? Because hair has this same pronunciation, okay? Hair in Chinese is stated as 发, 头发的发. It sounds similar to 发财, okay, which actually means to become wealthy. So by washing your hair, right, on Chinese New Year, right, it means to wash away all your wealth and also your prosperity, your good luck, so on and so forth. So actually, showering is not really encouraged during Chinese New Year. Okay, this is very interesting, but I still be. Okay, you see at your own discretion and your own discernment as well. All right. And number 17, let's take a look at what else is the taboo during Chinese New Year. They say that sweeping and throwing out of garbage isn't allowed during Chinese New Year. Why is that so? This is to ensure you don't sweep away or throw away all the wealth and good luck from home. And there are some other no-nos, okay, not to do during Chinese New Year, such as like using the scissors, the knife, and other sharp items, or either, arguing or swearing is not allowed during Chinese New Year as well. Or either even like saying unlucky words such as like death, or either sickness, or even if, let's say, you break things. So even the Chinese believe that if you were to break things, right, you must immediately, back it up with something that is very positive, that's very auspicious, say something that's very auspicious to actually cover the action of breaking things on the floor and so on and so forth. All right. So very interesting. Okay, let's take a look at fun fact number 18. Now, fun fact number 18, it is stated that hospitals are a big no-no. So visiting hospital during the festive season signifies a year of sickness for not only just you, but also for your whole family. So that's why a lot of those older folks, they will say that, don't talk about hospital, don't talk about, sick and all those kind of things. So if that's the case, let's please our older folks a little bit more, all right? Remember to eat vitamins, lots of vitamins, drink lots of water during this period, because all the food, all the New Year goodies, the yummy, delicious goodies, right? They are very, very heaty, okay? And it will actually expedite, okay? If let's say you have some sore throat, it will expedite and then become something worse off, okay? So do your best, okay? Try and do your best, okay, to stay healthy during this period. But if you are really sick, please go and see a doctor, especially right now is the COVID period, okay? And number 19, we are coming to 19. Singles hire fake boyfriends, okay, as well as fake girlfriends to take home. Oh dear, what's this all about? So in China, older folks and relatives, okay, they tend to actually ask a lot of questions about marital status of the young adults. Actually, this also happens in Singapore, don't you think so? Yeah, so especially since having children and passing down the family name is one of the most important thing, okay, in Chinese culture. So they place a lot of emphasis in this, okay, especially in China. So some desperate singles, they will actually resort to actually hire fake boyfriends and fake girlfriends to take home just to actually shut their relatives' mouth up, okay. And for those of us, okay, for those of you, okay, who can't or don't even feel like going home to actually to get all the nagging and all that, right? What they did is that they actually ran themselves up to become the fake boyfriend and the fake girlfriend. Very interesting, don't you think so? So questions such as like salary, your career, or when you want to actually have kids are some of the questions that are usually being questioned too. All right. And next, let's take a look at number 20. All right. Number 20. Wow, this is interesting. I didn't know about this until I was actually doing this research as well as this webinar as well, preparing for this webinar. So instead of Chinese New Year, yeah, Scottish people celebrate Gong Haggis Fat Choy. Well, that is very interesting. Now, Gong Haggis Fat Choy is a combination of haggis, a traditional Scottish food, all right, and Gong Hei Fat Choy is actually a traditional Cantonese New Year greeting. Gong Hei Fat Choy, Gong Hei Fat Choy. A lot of people will just say that, right, to actually greet somebody else whenever you actually meet up during Chinese New Year. So the celebration is actually a mash between Chinese New Year and the Scottish cultural celebration of Robert Burns Day that falls around about the same time each year. So during this festival, it is common to see lion dancers wearing quilts. So it is very cute. So if you take a look at the picture that I have on my slide, right, you can see some lion dancers. This is very different from our Chinese tradition of Chinese dance, right? Dong cheng, dong cheng, dong cheng. Correct or not, right? So yeah, this is something that we actually learned today as well. All right. Now, having said this, okay, let's take a look. Oh, thank you very much. We have come to the end of this today's webinar session. Now, before I actually go on, let me just stop share for a moment. All right. Great. Everybody, we are back here again on the main screen. Now, we have come to the end of the webinar session for today. And thank you everyone for tuning in to the session with me today. Especially it's the Chinese New Year right now, right? So special gratitude going up to the committee team, the AV team, as well as all of you, wonderful audience of today. Now, what is Chinese New Year without auspicious greetings, right? So let me wish everybody in Chinese first, okay? 恭祝大家恭喜发财，万事如意，牛年大吉，新年快乐，恭喜恭喜 okay? And for the English, okay? Now, let me just say a little bit in English because after all, this is an English webinar. So hereby wishing everyone, okay, great health, wealth, luck and prosperity. Okay, may everything goes well in this year of the ox. Okay, Happy New Year, everyone. Please have an auspicious and great year ahead. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. 恭喜恭喜，新年快乐。Bye-bye.